Hi, welcome back to Keep It Dirty, a podcast where my guests share their life living functionally and sustainably, and the why behind their experiences navigating through our ever changing environment. I am your host, Leslie Dowling. I'm a corporate speaker sharing how one can jumpstart your path to increased revenue and productivity through restorative health techniques. And today, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my guest, Julio Sandino. He is founder of Oiluj, which is really basically a life oil. And he is also a certified practitioner in cosmeceutical skincare, natural health, and holistic therapies. So, hello, Julio. How are you? Great to have you on.
Hello, Leslie. Hello, Leslie. So happy to be here with you. So nice to meet you again.
Yes. Yeah. I would love for you to share with my listeners and viewers today a little bit about your passions, your perseverance, and really the why behind what you're doing today. And we're really just sharing a little bit about your story, because that is what my love and passion is all about, for people to share the why behind what they're doing today.
Wonderful. So yes, my passion for cosmetics and skincare comes goes back all the way to my high school years. I used to have very bad skin. I used to have breakouts during high school. And so it was like my own research to like be able to like educate myself on how I can treat, teenage acne and things like that. So when I grew up to be old enough, I moved to New York in 1991 and I pursued a career in cosmetics and I started working with NARS Cosmetics from the very beginning. I was like one of the first people working with NARS Cosmetics. I started working with NARS Cosmetics back in 1993 and at a bar in New York, which doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I was working at the counter, and within a year working with NARS, I started assisting Francois NARS. I was working in fashion shows. My first fashion show was Dolce and Gabbana. So it was like I went from starting makeup to like just jumping into the life of fashion. And it was very exciting. I worked with NARS Cosmetics for around 20 years. And with NARS Cosmetics, I was able to travel all over the world. I became their international makeup artist and trainer. And it was just very exciting, being able to like work, backstage, creating looks for Fashion Week with all the top designers. Working with Francois Nars was amazing. He was a great mentor of mine. I worked with the company till 2014. And then I decided to go on my own and start my own business. So I opened up a makeup studio in Soho called Pucker. And Pucker was a one of a kind. It was a very, very new concept in New York. It was the first makeup studio in New York City, to be honest with you. Because what I wanted to do was to give women the opportunity and men to be able to have their makeup professionally done without having to go to a makeup counter at a store and getting, push cosmetics that they really don't need, and like the sales and and the noise and like all of that surroundings, that it just doesn't make it appealing to like go buy makeup. So I created this makeup studio for men and women who would want to come and have their makeup done in a tranquil environment without having salespeople pushing cosmetics onto them. And yeah, I did very well. I was in Allure's top of the best makeup studios in New York City. I got really great feedback from it. I was in every single publication, and 2.5 years later, me and my partners were approached to if we were able, wanting to sell the concept to this luxury brand. And we then went ahead and sold the company 2.5 years after the inception of it. But right after I sold the company, I felt like I needed a break. I was working 60, 65 hours a week. Having your own business is not easy. Running a studio is not easy with like 8 makeup artists, 3 hair people. It was just very, very time consuming. And so when I sold the company, I was able to take a break. And I told my partner, hey, listen, why don't we go to Nicaragua, which is where I'm from? Let's just take a holiday, rent a house on the beach for 5 weeks, go surfing, do yoga, just like get in touch with nature again, get out of the New York hustle. This was in January of 2016. And no, 2017, sorry. So we went to Nicaragua and we did the surfing, we did the yoga, and then the New Yorker kicked in me. 2 weeks later, I started looking at my watch. I started thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I just started getting frustrated. Like, I didn't know what to do. Even though I was surrounded by all this beauty and nature, I just wasn't ready to like hang the gloves in yet. And so I started thinking of like, what am I going to do next? Like my makeup studio was so successful. Am I going to go into cosmetics? Do I want to open up a makeup line, another makeup line by another makeup artist? It just didn't seem right. And I told my partner, I'm like, hey, listen, why don't we go backpacking? Let's go backpacking around Nicaragua, get on a bus and just go like visit different towns. So he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we left the house with our stuff there, which took a backpack with us. And we hopped on a bus and we went to a nearby town called Granada, which is this beautiful, um, what do you call it? Colonial city. It's one of the oldest colonial cities in Central America. So we went there and we were just like walking around and we ran into the street market. And my partner, he's super fair in skin. He's like really fair, ginger, blue eyes, very light skin. And from all the surfing and all the sun, he was starting to get a lot of like red dots on his body. And we didn't pack anything. We didn't pack anything with us. We didn't bring any skincare. We didn't bring anything with us. And so I started getting concerned about his skin. And during this natural street market that we ran into, I see this oil sitting there and it said Moringa oil. And I studied skincare. I went to school for skincare. I got my degree in natural science, focusing on paramedical skincare from Florida College of Natural Health. And so I studied about ingredients and skincare, and never in my life had I heard from moringa oil. So I was super intrigued. And then it said, oh, this is great for inflammation of the skin, like eczema, dermatitis, rosacea, and acne. And I was like, oh wow, this sounds amazing. Never tried it before. And we went ahead and bought a bottle and we went back to the hotel. And when I tell you, after taking a shower, I lathered it on my body, on my face, and on my hair. I was just stunned by how easy it absorbed, how beautiful it looked. Like the skin looked super glowy. And I mean, working with cosmetic brands like NARS, Shiseido, Clé de Peau, selling $1,000 jars of cream, in Bergdorf Goodman, I was just like, I was just stunned. I was like, wow, this ingredient is amazing. You know, and then we came back to New York and I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And I'm like, I gotta find out more about it. So I started doing research on moringa oil and come to find out it's been around for 5,000 years. Like in ancient Egypt, pharaohs used to be buried in their sarcophagus with like moringa oil. It's been used in Africa. It's been used in India. It's a superfood. The moringa tree is a superfood. And I was just becoming more and more fascinated with it. And when I become obsessed with something, I just go straight to it. Like, just like, I gotta find out more. And so I went back. I went back to Nicaragua. I found out the farm where they were growing the moringa seed because the oil comes from the seed as an extract of the seed. And I spoke to the farm owner who actually he provides employment for like most of the village that works there, which is very sustainable and beautifully ran. And I was just like, listen, I came across your oil in the street market in Granada. I am fascinated by it. Would you be willing to sell it to me so I can import it into New York and I can, brand it? Because I just feel like people need to find out about this. And not a lot of people they knew about moringa oil. Every time I mentioned moringa oil, they were just like, I don't know what it is. Me being guilty of it as well. And so I started importing the oil from Nicaragua, and that's when the brand started, Oiluj. It started with one oil, which is like the one that I gave you a sample of, which is like the number one. It's the DNA of the brand, basically. And from that, I just started like growing the brand. I make other products with it, like eye serums. I make a soap with it as well. I make for the face. I make a lip balm, and I have like two different other blends of the oil. One is with French lavender, organic French lavender, which is very calming and then the other one is made with Australian sandalwood. And the reason why I chose Australian sandalwood is because the way they source sandalwood in Australia is again very sustainable. For every tree that they use to extract the oil, they plant seven more. Which I'm all about like reforestation instead of deforestation. And yeah, I just became very fascinated with this.
Wow. And we were just saying before we started the recording that we actually met at New York Now show,
Yes,
which there were a bunch of vendors, and I just was gravitating towards the packaging, just all about what you promote, being sustainable, and just putting things topically on your skin, which is one of our largest organ, to
yes,
absorb that doesn't create that toxic environment, which people don't realize. They think, oh, I'll eat healthy, but what are you ingesting on your skin? And my God, like you said,
exactly.
like the DNA of the Moringa, there's so many great properties. And so you were giving out these wonderful samples, and I love the packaging, love the color, but I could actually use the oil all over my body, on my hair. I mean, and your price points are amazing. So, I mean, everything that you have done with this line, obviously you have so much wealth of knowledge, is really fascinating. And I think there was a reason, I believe in the higher energies that drew you back to your homeland. And if you didn't go back there, would you have started this with the
Absolutely
Moringa,
not. I've
right?
always had it in the back of my mind. Because I left Nicaragua during the Civil War and back in 1979. My parents were politicians, and we had to leave during the civil war that happened there, and we came here and immigrated to the United States, which gave us a political asylum here. And I've always said to myself, I'm like, if I ever go back to Nicaragua, once I was working with skincare and cosmetics, I know I'm gonna find, like I knew it, that I was gonna find something, because that land is so rich. And the difference between the moringa there and the moringa that they grow in, let's say, India or Africa or Mongolia, it's that it grows in volcanic soil, because in volcanic soil is super rich in nutrients. And the farm where they grow this oil is right next to a volcano called Mumotombo. It's an active volcano, and so the soil there is super rich in nutrients. And that's when you feel the difference between the oil from there than as opposed to the one that comes from either Africa, India, or Mongolia, where it originates.
Wow, that's really fascinating and interesting. So it's just power packed with so many amazing nutrients. And the other thing that I really like about this product is that it's not just solely for women. So men, women, you could put it on your children, and
Absolutely.
being a mom of three sons. Actually, I'm going to get a couple of them and send them. One is in Tampa, and they're all over. So because they're always looking for natural, I think I just embedded in them as little kids, like eat healthy, whole. Even the deodorants you're putting on,
Yeah.
be careful, with the metals, and they're very
Yes.
well versed. So they're going to love this. And I'd love to know what was your background in your formative years? Obviously, this is where you grew up, but was there anybody that really instilled that passion to just use the natural oils or products, or just giving you the drive because you are just so business driven and you just tap in to knowing what is going to be a success?
Yeah, so I feel like my passion started from since I was a kid. I always loved natural ingredients, natural products, and I was always seeking that. But it wasn't trending back in the 80s. Back in the
Mhm.
80s and 90s, it was just like it was all about marketing and who's in the cover of what and who's advertising for who. And we didn't have access to internet. We didn't have access to where you could look up ingredients and see if they're toxic for you. But now we are in a world of information, and if you choose to be ignorant, that's fine. But now everybody is like they want to eat healthy, they want to eat natural, they want to like consume things that are organic and things that are good for you. And so if you're going to treat your body great from the inside, you should also treat it good from the outside as well, and surround yourself by that. It's a lifestyle. It's definitely a
Mhm.
lifestyle change. And it's also deprogramming from what you've been told growing up, like, oh, this celebrity is using this and this, brand is doing that. But then when you look at the back of the ingredients, you're like, I don't even understand half of the words that it says. And so my approach to skincare and cosmetics is become very minimal since then. It's a minimalist approach to skincare, to cosmetics. It's I just want it to be as clean as possible. And you can find that when you go to like Rite Aid or doing Read, even the brands that are promoting themselves as organic, you still read in the back and you don't understand some of the ingredients that they have because they have to put preservatives in it or whatever it is. I just wanted to keep it as clean as possible, Leslie. And I honestly, I can't live any other way. That's I've been using this product since I found it back in 2017, and I don't use anything else since then. And I've had opportunities because as a makeup artist, I have brands sending me, a whole bunch of stuff like, oh, here's the new cream from this, here's the new this from that, and I'm just like, I stick to one thing. And I also wanted to tell you that even the packaging itself, it comes from recycled material. I
Oh,
wanted to make
wow.
sure,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that if I'm going to be making money from trees, I want to be respectful to the trees where the paper comes from, and so the packaging is, you know, it's a tube paper that comes from recycled ingredients, and it's even usable. Like for instance, the tube where I use it to like put pencils or eyeliners or like shaving products,
Yeah,
so you can
brushes.
actually use the pocket package. And if you notice, every single brand out there, all their oils that they sell, they're 1 ounce. And that's something that used to drive me crazy because you would buy this super expensive oil that was 1 ounce and you felt like you had to nurse it with two little drops and like, oh, I don't want it to run out. So I made sure to make 2 ounces because I want people to be able to like lather in it with like in the face, the hair, the body, because it's for that. It's for you to like lather yourself in it instead of like being super meticulous and how much product you're going to use. Mind you, you don't need to use a lot of it because it's 100% concentrated. There's nothing else in here but moringa seed oil. Another great fact about moringa is that you can actually consume it. This you can eat it basically. The leaf, people dry it and they make it into powder. And so if you suffer from diabetes or inflammation, it helps you clean that out. It helps you with regulate diabetes, inflammation of the intestines. So even for people with diverticulitis, when you put a teaspoon of moringa powder into your smoothie or into your drink in the morning, it totally helps you regulate that. The husk, because the seed comes in this husk, right? So they also call it the drumstick tree because it has like this sticks that it looks like drumsticks, and that's where the seed comes inside. They use it in Africa to purify water, to make drinking water for villages where they don't have like pumps to like clean the water. Every single part of the tree, the root is used for it's like horseradish. So every single part of the tree is edible and you can consume it as well. So it's
That's
definitely
fascinating.
it's one of those super foods that I don't know why people just don't know about. And I feel, I don't want to be like this, you know, like, oh, they're trying to like hide these things from us. But in a way, I feel like, sometimes they
Mhm.
want to keep good things from you so you consume other stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
That's but I don't want to go there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So that's why
Yeah,
we have to be our own advocates, right?
exactly. You have to do your own research. You have to like read the ingredients on everything that you consume and buy and just make it a part of your lifestyle, so you can prolong everything about you.
Yeah.
Whether it's your skin or your health, health is so important. You can have
Hmm.
everything in this world, but health is the most precious thing that you can have.
Yeah. And I love that you're such an advocate because that is really the power of our voice, the power of just if I could just change one person to really have that light bulb go on to say, yeah, you know what? We only have one chance in this shot in this world to really get it right and to fine tune this amazing vessel, this body that we have. But if you don't put the oil in, like a car, if you don't change the wheels, how are you going to run efficiently and also be a role model for others if you don't walk the walk?
Exactly. Like you were for your kids. You implanted that since they were children that this is the way to go, and that was the best gift you could have given them. Because
Oh,
a lot of people they just don't take the time to educate, and you are the example. You are the example for your kids, and you
yeah.
taught them well.
And I would love to know, who did you have a role model growing up, or who was your, like a superhero or somebody that really was the catalyst maybe to just change your life?
My mother's always been my role model. My
Oh,
mother is the strongest, most resilient woman that I have ever met in my entire world. I mean, she comes, from Nicaragua, being a housewife, having everything at her disposal to like lose everything overnight and have to start a whole life over again in a country where she didn't speak the language, having to raise four children from the age of like 8 months to I was what 11, 12 years when I came here. And so and for her to like make it seem so seamless and so like oh, everything's great, everything's fine, we're gonna make this you know work for the best, and never put us in a situation where we felt unsafe. She's also very glamorous. She's a very glamorous woman. She's like the type of woman who's like her hair's always done, her nails are always done, her makeup is always flawless, her clothes, everything, she always taught me how to take care of myself. And
yeah.
I can't say enough things about my mother. My mother has definitely been my role model growing up till today. She's a very wonderful, powerful, independent woman, and she implanted that in me, really.
I love to hear that, because
Yes.
my mother was my role model. She was a
Mm.
trailblazer, very instrumental, just always business savvy, first generation with my grandmother emigrating here, and just had a vision and a dream, and just went for it. She was a hosiery designer way
Oh,
back when in
cool.
Manhattan. So I have a lot of great, like I was in the fashion industry, went to school for that, but now I'm in health.
Okay.
But so I love that, the energy and the drive and determination as somebody that is our role model. I think it's so important. So I have another
Absolutely.
quick question for you, and that is, I ask all my guests, do you have any hidden talents or any hobbies that we all don't know about that you could share today with us?
Actually, yes, I love music. I grew up studying musical instruments. So I play the clarinet, I play the flute, I dabble a little bit with tuning forks as well. I love doing sound healing, so I do a lot of tuning fork sound healing, Tibetan bowls that are made from like different type of metals and minerals, and yeah, so sound healing is one of my passions at the moment. It's one of those things that I'm beginning to learn and have been studying a lot. That we are vibration, and a great way to heal yourself is through vibration, is through
Mhm.
music, and yeah, and these instruments that I've been using, like the tuning forks and the Tibetan bowls, the Nepalese bowls as well, have been a great way for me to channel my passion to inner healing as well.
Mm.
I my next thing I want to learn is to I want to get a whole set of crystal bowls and just learn how to play them all and create this like beautiful cacophony of music, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I like playing with instruments. With I studied, like I said, the clarinet and the flute when I was growing up in junior high and high school. I was in concert band, and yeah, just music is a big part of my life. It's music is healing to me.
Mhm. Yeah.
And certain sounds and certain frequencies can make you feel certain ways. And there hasn't been that much study on it. And I feel like that's like one of the things that is going to be coming up. Like people, it's going to become more, it's going to be introduced more to the masses, where sound healing, it's going to be one of those big things that people are going to start looking into. Because right now it's still a little bit on the, like in that esoteric world,
Yeah.
like,
The woo
ooh,
woo.
sound healing,
Yeah. Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. Oh my God. Yeah. Cause when I tell people I'm a Reiki practitioner, they're like, Reiki what? Like
Ooh.
energy work. It's that, and I say, oh, it's woo woo. So I have to validate that I'm a practitioner,
Right.
but I also
Yes.
share very spiritual, which I think more and more people are open to that because of what we've been through over the last couple of years.
Yes,
Um,
I completely
which
agree. A
is
lot of people are waking up
right.
to, a, yeah, a lot of people are waking up to more realities than what we think we had. I mean, I was one
Yeah.
of them. Like I remember in 2020 being like freaking out, like, what am I going to do with my life? I was a makeup artist for so many years, and I was doing
Mhm.
like events and like special events and like weddings, and I had clients, that they're in Forbes and Fortune 200, companies, and they would come to New York to be interviewed by, on different news media channels, and I would do their makeup and stuff, and everything was just shut down, like put to a halt. My makeup career just basically came to a stop. And so I had to like
Mhm.
re I had to re position myself in what I wanted to do. And this is where I went full on with focusing on my brand. And instead of like, holding back, I just expanded it. I came out with an eye serum. I came out with a lip balm. I came out with a facial soap. I came out with more things instead of just like standing back and like, oh, well,
Yeah.
this is it. There's nothing else you can do about it. I chose to expand instead of like
Mhm.
repress
Yeah.
into,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I didn't want fear to take over me. I just wanted to like move forward in a positive direction.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, instead of just being in fear and just in this bubble, so many people that I know started their businesses. I started doing more events online, podcasting, and taking it
Yes,
to, a platform where I knew I was still, because sense of community, that connection, that is so relationships, having those healthy modalities are as critical and as important as living clean and healing ourselves. Because
yes,
if you look at the Blue Zones by Michael Pollan, he wrote several books, and the communities where they live the longest are these communities that gather in the town square. They have, they have these wonderful relationships with the community around them, the people that live next door to them. And I think we've kind of lost that a little bit, but we're all kind of circling back. And
yes, absolutely.
I'd love to know also, because my sister-in-law just said, we have to take a sound healing class. Now we're in Philadelphia, so you'll have to let me know if there's anything that is out there that you would recommend, or if
Absolutely.
you're going to be doing one.
Yeah, you know what? You never know. I'm all about
Yeah,
reinventing myself, and added more into my repertoire,
I
so
love it.
from like cosmeceutical practitioner to a sound healer, why not?
Yeah, why not? But more importantly, I love it. So, how can people find you? And maybe you could give us a little bit more about your website. And I don't know if you're coming out with any other products, but maybe you could speak into what you have on your website.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is Oiluj, OILUJ.com, which is my name backwards. Oiluj is Julio backwards. And the reason why I came up with that name, I feel like names have always been like one of those things that when you're starting a business, you're like, what am I going to call it? It's like it becomes so stressful. And one time I was sleeping and I had this photograph in my bedroom, that has my name on it. It's a graffiti paint photograph that a friend of mine got for me, and it just happened to have my name on the graffiti. And so I'm sleeping, and when I'm working on a project, I always wake up at 4 in the morning, which is so random,
Oh,
with all these ideas. And then I get on my phone and I start typing on my notes, because if I forget, like if I don't do that, then I
yeah.
wake up in the morning and I forget all of that. And so it's one of those hours that, and when I'm working on a project at 4 o'clock in the morning on the dot, I wake up with crazy ideas. So that morning was not any different. And I woke up and I remember opening my eyes, and the first thing I saw was my name, but I saw it in an angle where I saw it like from the end of the name to the beginning. And the first word I
Yeah.
saw was oil. And I was like,
Oh,
it was like this epiphany. I'm like, my name has the word oil if you spell it backwards. And instead of using, like, like I feel like everybody's like, oh, makeup by Mario or like Francois Nard. Everyone puts their name on things. And I wanted to put my name, but in like more playful way. And
mhm.
so Oiluj, that's how it came from. It came from a photograph, reading it backwards. And so this is an original oil, Oiluj Life Oil, made from 100% Moringa seed oil. It comes in this 2-ounce bottle,
Mm.
and you always want to store oils in glass.
Oh,
You don't want to start your products in plastics, because plastics can seep into your product, and then you'll be putting microplastics all over yourself. And so this is like the DNA of my product, the 100% Moringa seed oil. You can use it on your hair, face, and body. You only need a couple of drops. I've been seeing a lot of people when they put oil as well, that they put it like directly from the wand,
mm.
like
No, you want
this, I want to put it on my hands, because guess what?
to.
Your hands will thank you for it. My hands are super soft, and it's because I put the oil on my hand, and then I put it on my face, and whatever I have left, I put it into my hair. I put it on my body when I come out of the shower, when your skin is still moist. So it spreads evenly, and it actually helps seal the moisture in your body.
Mm.
And for those people who want to know what the benefits of moringa oil is, it's great for people, for every kind of person, for every kind of skin type, even oily skin types. Because you also get like people that are like, well, I don't want to put oil on my face because I have oily skin. And that's one big mistake that people have been taught since back in the days. I remember having oily skin and acne on my skin. I would go to like the clinic counter, and they would say, oh, you need oil free everything. So it was like oil free soap, oil free this, oil free that. So what happens when you do that is you're stripping your skin from it's the good oils that you produce. And so your skin is saying, oh, I don't have any oil on. So you overproduce oil when you're using oil free products. So you're stripping away your skin from good oils to to put what more oil free. So it's all about balance, basically. And so the benefits of moringa seed oil, it's great for people with dermatitis, with
Mm.
rosacea, with eczema of the skin. I myself have a testimonial really quick. I don't want to take
Yeah.
all your time, but
Please share. No,
I was
please.
I was scuba diving in Mexico. I was in Puerto Vallarta, and it was my partner's birthday, and I took him to Puerto Vallarta, and we chartered a boat, and we went scuba diving, and I jumped into the water, and I just see this like swarm of something coming at me, and it just brushed over me, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't feel anything. I get back to the hotel, and I started itching, and I started scratching, and then I look in the mirror, and I was covered in like a red rashes.
Mm.
And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is this about? And I usually carry cortisone with me, cortisone cream, because I get attacked by mosquitoes every time I go to Central America. So every time I get mosquito bites, I put cortisone, and it helps with the itching. But this time I didn't pack any cortisone with me. And I'm like getting desperate. I'm like, why am I itching so much? Where is this rash coming from? And so I see my oil, and I just put it all over. And promise you, instantly, all the itchiness went away. The rash was still there, but slowly it started coming down within a couple of days, and then it disappeared on its own without the use of any cortisone cream, which is what I
Mm.
used to go to. towards, like using cortisone, which is not that great for you, but I mean, it does do the job, right away.
If you need it. Yeah.
But so it was a natural way to help with insect bites. So I came to find out that what attacked me were sea lice. Have you ever heard of that? Sea
Mm.
lice?
No,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah,
I
they're
have not.
horrible. They're horrible. If you look at the photo on Google of sea lice, you're gonna be like, ew, they look disgusting. They look like parasites. Basically, they come on red tides, like when there's been a
Oh,
hurricane or like a tropical
yep.
storm, and then
Red
there's
tide.
jellyfish the jellyfish get like washed into the shore. It comes from jellyfish eggs. It's
Okay.
so it's super itchy and super frustrating. It was horrible. So my oil definitely helped me with that. It helped my boyfriend's skin when he had like that sun rash. It helped it. It
Hmm.
healed it right away. People who are just allergic to any kind of preservatives, because there are people who are allergic to preservatives. This is
Yes.
pure. It's not gonna interfere with anything, and it has a beautiful natural woodsy aroma, like very natural scent. As you know, you have it. I also wanted to create blends. So I created this one, which is the same oil, but it has the Australian sandalwood. And like I
Wow.
said, Australian sandalwood is sourced very ethically, because for every tree that they use to extract the oil, they plant seven more, and so therefore there's never any deforestation of the actual tree. And so this is the bottle. Um, it's a brown amber bottle, and if you see the residue on the bottom of the bottle,
Yes.
that's all protein that comes from that oil. It's protein that comes from the
Yes.
oil. So it's not that the oil is going bad. It's like honey. It's a way for it to preserve itself. This kind of like residues. So you know how honey sometimes it solidifies and it looks
Yes.
like it went bad, or it's just like you can get it out of the bottle. It's a way for the oil to protect itself. Or like when you go to the supermarket and the supermarket is too cold, and then you see the olive oil and it's kind of
Oh
opaque
yeah.
because it's cold. So it's the same concept when it comes to it's the oil itself is protecting itself from changes and things as
Hmm.
such. So this one's great. It has the sandalwood has this like beautiful woodsy aroma that I mean it's for everyone. Everyone loves it, but I find that men love it in particular because the aroma can be a little bit masculine if you want to use that
Yeah.
word. Yeah, but it's beautiful, and I have women that love the scent as well. So, great for beard oil, for the face, for the hair, the body.
Mm.
Same thing as the other one. And then I came out with this one's made with organic French lavender, and
Mm.
again it's the same oil, but it's made with also with French lavender, organic French lavender, which is the best lavender you can find. And this one, the smell of lavender is very soothing and healing, and it also helps with hormones, like if you're going through hormonal changes, and it promotes relaxation. So I like to use this one at night because it's just like the aroma of lavender helps you relax, and you can go to sleep like feeling very peaceful.
Yeah.
So that's the lavender formula. Then I came out with the soap that I have manufactured in Guatemala. I was in
Yeah.
Guatemala, and I do travel a lot. I love to travel, and I love to do research on ethnobotanical ingredients that different countries may have that we may not
Hmm.
necessarily know about. And so
Yeah.
this soap, it's made with moringa oil, moringa flour, moringa powder, aloe vera, and coconut glycerin. So it doesn't have any of that sodium lauryl sulfate, which is what creates foam, and it's super
Hmm.
toxic for your skin and for your hair. Is horrible. So whenever you read like on the back of the bottle, like of your shampoo, and it says sodium lauryl sulfate, you want to stay away from that because it's toxic actually. And that's what they use on a lot of soaps, just so you can get that foam feel and feel
Yeah.
like, and when you feel the foam, you're like, oh, it's cleaning me, but it's like actually stripping you from like good,
Well.
oils and things and such. So the coconut glycerin will give you that nice foam without having the use of sodium lauryl sulfate or any kind of sulfate. So that's the soap, great for the face. And then I came out with this lip. Sorry, this is my eye serum, and the eye serum, it's amazing. It's so good. Again, using also moringa oil, but it has jojoba oil as well, which is highly hydrating, super hydrating. It also has evening primrose, which is very healing. Vitamin E as well. It's amazing for the eye contour area because what it
Mm.
does, it heals your skin. It also moisturizes fine lines. And if you have let's say scarring or what do you call sun damage, vitamin E is excellent for it. And so it's a
Yep.
combination of evening primrose, jojoba oil, moringa oil, and vitamin E. And I love the packaging because it has this like little rolling ball, this little metal rolling ball. So when you roll it onto your skin like that, you only need it twice, and then you just dab
Mm.
it like that
Oh, that looks
with your
so
ring
wonderful.
finger. See, and it hydrates your eye area because what causes fine lines is dryness.
Mm.
And
Okay.
when you have dryness in your skin, whenever you make expressions, in which you do with your face all the time, if your skin is not hydrated, think of your skin as a sheet of paper, right? And if that sheet of paper, you move it around, it starts getting crinkly. But when you
Mhm.
put that sheet of paper on water, it smooths out. So you want to keep your skin hydrated to so those fine lines don't crinkle permanently.
That
It's
I
all
love
about
that.
prevention.
Yeah, I love the way that you
Eh,
explain it. It makes so much sense.
yeah. And again, like I said, none of my products have more than four ingredients in it, and they're all oil based. So this one is my lip balm.
Ooh.
This is a lip balm. It comes in a glass jar as well, and the lip the lip balm is made with organic beeswax. It's also
Hmm.
made with moringa oil, with vitamin E and coconut oil. So
Nice.
super hydrating for the lips. When it comes to lip balms, you want to stay away from things that have camphor. Is that the right word? Camphor?
Yep.
Camphor, petroleum. You don't want any kind of petroleum based like Vaseline. None of those products are good for your skin because it will give you that instant gratification when you put it on. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it feels amazing. But then your lips they get dehydrated right
Oh,
away. And so you're in this like constant battle, reapplying and reapplying, and then they start chapping and you start peeling them off and it just becomes a nightmare. You want to stay also away from like things like Blistex. They have menthol in it, and menthol also is very dehydrated. It smells amazing when you put it around your mouth, and then you can smell like the menthol, but
yeah.
it's just not good for you. Like good things with like lip products, you can use like peppermint and like cinnamon and things like that are like natural derived, like that have like peppermint or cinnamon if that's what you like. This one has no scent, but if you like aromas and scents, like with the lip area, you want to do more like peppermint or cinnamon or spearmint or things like that, that are like made derived from what do you call it? Essential oils.
Mm, yes.
Yeah.
Essential oil.
So it's a small brand. It's six SKUs. I only have six products, and things that I'm working on coming up. This summer, most likely, I'm gonna come out with a body oil, and that body oil is gonna have I'm still not 100% sure, but I'm dabbling with carrot oil that I found in what's in the country next to Guatemala, Belize. I found carrot oil
Oh,
in Belize, and it's beautiful on the skin. It gives you like this like tint. It's almost like a tinted moisturizer, but natural because it comes from the
where?
carrot oil, which is high in carotene. And so I want to use carrot oil. I want to use moringa oil again because it's amazing for you. Maybe dabble with a little bit of almond, and then the aroma. I wanted to have either bergamot, so like it reminds you of the beach, bergamot, or there's this flower that grows in Nicaragua that's also very beautiful, and it promotes love. It has like the aroma reminds you of love, and it's called
Hmm.
saguanjoche. I don't know what it's called in. in English, so
Oh,
I I,
I'll
I,
have
I
to
must have it
Google
somewhere. Yeah,
that.
Sacuanjoche. I forget what it's in English, but yeah, it's a beautiful aroma. And again, it all derives from natural essential oils. I don't use anything chemical when I want to add aromas into my products. They have to come from essential oils that have been
Yeah.
naturally sourced and derived from, ethically grown farms.
Oh, I mean, I
So
could, yeah, that's amazing. There's just
yeah, so that's
all,
my next baby, the body oil, and then essentially I want to also come out with a toner for the face,
Mhm.
possibly with like rose water, um, maybe some moringa extract as well, because moringa can also uh, close your pores. It's
Ah,
it's kind of like,
okay.
yeah, it's great because it's great for acne as well. Moringa oil is great for acne. I feel like the extract of the powder, if you mix it with rose water, it could also help with breakouts and enlarged pores.
That's great to
So
know.
those are those are my two products that I'm working on in the back of my mind right now that I can tell you. Coming soon, coming soon to a website near you.
Yes. And I want to be the first one to purchase
Yes,
and try
absolutely. Thank
and
you.
purchase, post on my social media, and share with
Yes, thank you.
and I what you mentioned before I forget with hormones and plastics and creating the mycotoxins that also creates hormonal imbalance. So we have higher
Absolutely.
estrogen levels. And people say, well, why is it I'm doing everything? And I'm like, are you storing everything in plastic? Are you drinking from plastic bottles? People don't realize how much that has a counterintuitive effect on our hormones.
A
So I'm glad
hundred
that you brought
percent.
that up. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Great thing also for menopause is jasmine essential oil. Jasmine
Ah,
essential oil is amazing for menopause. It helps with like, like those hot flashes and like those feel
yeah,
like the headaches and like like those kind of like discomforts. It's very calming, very soothing, and the aroma is intoxicating, and it's also a natural aphrodisiac.
ooh, I love that.
So
So it,
it promotes
yeah, like
yes,
yeah, that's great. I
jasmine
know.
oil. Yeah, jasmine oil is amazing. So
So it really
def
triggers the pheromones, and that's why you
hmm
said like the flower from your country. I'm wondering if that triggers those pheromones.
oh
That's
yeah,
sex drive, which you can say on my
yes.
show. So
Oh yes, keep it dirty. Hey.
sure,
I love the name, by the way. I love the name. It's so clever. So
makes
clever.
people think. And it's interesting because somebody said you should really change it to keep it green so people will realize it's all about Mother Earth. I said no. I want people to think. Let their mind like figure this out and let them listen to my show so they will know.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
but thank you.
absolutely. It's
I really appreciate.
provocative. It's beautiful. I love it.
Oh, well,
Such a great play in words.
thank you. I mean, I've had so much fun today, and I'm so glad that we met at in Manhattan at the trade show. And I am
Yes.
so happy for you. I love your energy, and I loved all the people that work for you that I met at the booth that day. They're just so free
Yes.
spirited, high
Yeah.
energy, and grounded. And I think that's important. We need more people like
I
you.
yeah, they're friends of mine that love the brand. They love me. They love the brand, and they wanted to help out. And
All right.
one thing that I wanted to do too, because when I was working in cosmetics, we were like literally forced to wear black, and this is a green brand, and so
Yeah,
this is why I came out with like the green tracksuits, and
love
like
it.
yeah, so people were like, "Oh my god, that's so funny! It reminds me of Squid Games." The shows, and I was like, I never even thought of that, but that was so funny. But yeah, I
That's
wanted to keep it fun. I wanted to keep it, just fun, because you
awesome.
should be able to. You shouldn't take things so serious, especially when dealing with like take things serious when it comes to like making choices for yourself and like the products that you're going to use and ingest and
Right.
things like that. But also, you got to have fun. You can't be so serious in life. It's keep
You
it
got to have
fun.
fun
You
and you
gotta
got to
have
keep it
fun.
dirty.
Keep it dirty. That's
It's
right.
dirty, baby. So wait, before we wrap things up, please share with everybody. For anyone that's listening, they could. There is a code, a special.
Yes.
You could share that with everybody.
Absolutely. So for all your listeners today, I created a code. So if they are interested in going on my website and making some purchases, you will get by typing in the code "Keep It Dirty" in
Uh-huh.
lowercase.
Love it.
I don't know if it matters, but just in case, "Keep It Dirty," and you will get an 20% off with your purchase. So take advantage of that, take advantage of the
Absolutely.
20% off. Use code Keep It Dirty on checkout and you will get the 20% off.
I love that. Thank you. That's
Of
awesome.
course. Absolutely. Thank you.
And I'll have to have you on my show in the fall. I'd love to hear about your new products, how they're doing.
Thank you.
And we will reconnect soon. And I want to hear about all your new adventures with the sound healing too. But most of all, it was such a pleasure. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to be on my show, Keep It Dirty.
It was
And
my
for all
pleasure.
Thank you. And for all my viewers and listeners, remember, get out there, ground with Mother Earth, take a walk, breathe in the energy of our planet, Mother Earth, and remember, most importantly, to keep it dirty.